today, it's safe to say the Donald will keep being the Donald. Check this out.
What is going on? You see it? You don't believe it? $400 million in cash being flown in an airplane to Iran. I wonder where that money really goes, by the way, right? I wonder where it really goes. Well, it went to either in their pockets, which I actually think, or so, or toward terrorism. Probably a combination of both. How stupid are we? How stupid are we? To allow this to continue to go on, to see what's happening, $400 million that just got ripped away from our country, all right? And, you know, the real number, you look at it, $150 billion, we got nothing. We got nothing. And they think they probably paid the $400 million for the hostages, which is even worse. And now, since then, I don't know if you know, we have 2 more hostages right now. Why wouldn't they? We have 2 more hostages right now. Were fairly recently grabbed, and they're in Iran. And I guess, what are we going to do with that one, right? So they do $400 million, gets flown at night into Iran. I think it's so sad and so disgusting. And you also wonder about a government. Who can approve a thing like that? Would they take cash into a country and just hand it to them? Bushels and bushels of cash? She will put, because she was forced so far left, she will put super liberal judges into what could be 4 or 5 slots. I mean, you have one before you can start Judge Scalia, who's terrific. But you have a situation where she could have, or the next president could have, as many as 5. More likely it'll be 3 or 4. But it's going to be perhaps a record number of justices of the Supreme Court. And if for no other reason, you have to go out and you have to vote for Trump. We're both supposed to be briefed in the not-too-distant future. And I'm saying, you can't brief her. You can't brief her. Let's protest. Her email scandal put our entire country at risk. Made our sensitive secrets vulnerable to hacking by foreign adversaries. I mean, they're hacked all over the place. They're hacked. I guess. Who's got them? She lost 33,000 emails. What happened? 33,000. Okay? So what happened? How is it possible? First of all, what kind of a number is that? She said it was the wedding and yoga.
Former presidential candidate and businessman Mr. Herman Cain goes on the record. Nice to see you, sir.
Thank you, Greta.
Some of the so-called party elders have suggested they want to have some sort of intervention with Donald Trump to make Donald Trump into someone he is not, apparently, or maybe, I don't know if that's the right word, but what do you think?
I believe that they may meet with him and point out to him how some of his narrative may be inflaming the party elders, but they are not going to change him into somebody that he's not. The people that are supporting Donald Trump like the fact that he's calling it like it is. The American people are not stupid. We are not buying this explanation that the $400 million was a coincidence with the release of 4 hostages. The American people are not stupid, Greta. They are not buying the fact that she just lost 33,000 emails, put the country at risk, and she wants to just ignore it along with the liberal media. They're not going to remake him. They may be able to get him to just think about some of the things in terms of some of the narrative, but not all.
Okay, so how do you explain this? He has huge crowds, bigger than I think that she does by far. He had an enormous amount of Republican votes in the primary. He buried his 16 other opponents. And when you look at these crowds, you think that he's on a roll. But then when you see the polls, is that on national poll, he's losing now by a significant number. So how do you reconcile the poll numbers and the fact that he's got these huge crowds?
Here's how I reconcile it. There are 2 presidential races going on. The one projected by the media, the liberal media, is projecting Donald Trump as nothing but negative, and the liberal media is projecting Hillary Clinton as the more calm establishment candidate, even though they don't use those words. Then you have the ground presidential race. 15,000 people show up in Jacksonville. 15,000 people show up in Daytona Beach to hear Donald Trump. Why? They are not listening to the garbage that the liberal media is putting out there to create a negative perception of Donald Trump. The ground people on the ground aren't listening to these attempts to try and paint Donald Trump in a negative negative sense, despite the fact that maybe he didn't selectively use certain words.
All right, while we're on the topic of those words, let me ask you this. Hollywood legend Clint Eastwood saying his guy is Donald Trump. He's not endorsing, but he says he's his guy. That's who he's voting for. In an interview with Esquire magazine, Clint Eastwood saying this about Trump. He's onto something, because secretly everybody's getting tired of political correctness. Kissing up. That's the kiss-ass generation we're in right now. Mr. Kane, your thoughts?
Clint Eastwood is correct, and here's why. He is correct because, one, as I mentioned, we got two presidential races going on, one in the media and one on the ground. But secondly, if Hillary Clinton becomes president, she will have carte blanche with no check and balances. She will appoint liberal judges, and all executive orders and all regulatory overreach will have no way to stop it. That is the biggest danger, and I believe that that's why Clint Eastwood, along with a lot of other people, are saying, never Hillary. That's what he's saying.
All right, well, 4 years ago, we saw this Clint Eastwood. He was front, right, center on the RNC convention. Take a look at this.
I've got Mr. Obama sitting here, and he's, I just was going to ask him a couple questions. What do you want me to tell Romney? I can't tell him to do that. He can't do that to himself. I think it's maybe time, what do you think, for maybe a businessman? How about that?
And I might as well get the viewers in on this now before I go back to you, Mr. Kane. Want them to vote at home on Twitter. Does a celebrity's endorsement of a candidate impact your vote? Tweet yes or no using hashtag Greta. We'll show you live Twitter votes throughout the show. Back to you, Mr. Kane. This whole idea of political correctness, I get an awful lot of emails. People just don't like it. But on the other hand, we have issues of manners. So where do you draw the line?
Well, you draw the line at trying to be respectful of people. I get that, and that's what people want. But they also, as has been demonstrated with the popularity of Donald Trump, they want people to tell it like it is. And in that little chair incident that Clint Eastwood did, he was using a humorous way to drive home a point. And that point is President Obama and his administration, along with Hillary, who would be Obama 3.0, are basically deceiving the American people. And their only strategy is attack Donald Trump and deny the truth. That's what he was saying with that little incident, and that's why he is supporting Donald Trump today.
I think, and I suppose I should say that they probably say that Trump attacks, but that's sort of like politics. Everyone's pointing fingers a little bit. But anyway, Mr. Herman Kane, thank you very much for joining us.
My pleasure, Greta. Thank you.
Okay, no one, and I mean no one, likes paying taxes. And tonight there's a new report about Secretary Hillary Clinton's tax plan. If she wins the White House, will your taxes go up? Well, according to a new report, former Congressional Budget Office Director and President of the American Action Forum, Doug Holzeken, goes on the record. Nice to see you, sir.
Good to see you, Greta. Thank you.
Okay, so under the Hillary Clinton tax plan, are taxes going up, and who are they going up on?
They're going up. They're going up to the tune of $1.3 trillion over the next 10 years that she would be elected and put this in place. And right now she's promising they will only affect the very wealthy. Certainly no one, no couple under 250,000, no individual at all.
She promises that. Is there any way to know that for sure? I mean, I suppose that's what viewers want to know.
Well, here's the problem. She's promised to raise 1.3 trillion in taxes, but she's promised to spend 3.5 trillion more. So there's a deficit of 2.2 trillion. She's not going to do that by cutting spending. She has big spending plans. So to close that, it's going to mean higher taxes for somebody, and she's running out of rich people and rich people's income.
What about the fact that the economy has had a sluggish recovery? I suspect that if we had a more vigorous and robust recovery, this would be less of an issue because more money would be pouring into the Treasury.
Certainly would help. But right now we're grinding along with something like 1, maybe 2% at best, and a promise to raise taxes and create a $2.2 trillion deficit is a promise to harm growth. And so I think we have to be concerned about the implications for the average person on Main Street of an economy that's not doing well now and sees this kind of a policy in place.
All right, does Donald Trump have a plan out himself yet that you can do an analysis of?
We would love to do an analysis of this plan. He's been very short on details, and we know that he has the tax plan, which has been estimated to lose between $10 and $12 trillion promised to double the infrastructure spending of Secretary Clinton. That would be about $800 billion. He's promised not touch Social Security or Medicare. So those are already contributing to what will be $9 trillion of deficits that he or Secretary Clinton would inherit from this president. So that remains to be seen. I'd love to see the details.
Doug, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
And many are asking tonight, was the Obama administration $400 million cash payout to Iran legal?
If you like your hostage, you keep your hostage. The slogan line of the single-payer ransom program.
$400 million in cash, euros and Swiss francs on an unmarked cargo plane. The reason it was concealed is because it's illegal. That's why. Brian, I'm asking you what you and the secretary think about this delivery of cash.
He was out of office by the time this happened.
It's a standard Clinton technique.
The money is in cash. Why in cash? Because that way you can't trace it. It's going to go straight to Hezbollah. Justice Department officials objected to sending a plane loaded with cash to Tehran. Their objections were overruled by the State Department.
The Justice Department raised objections.
Of course, the Justice Department objected. It was illegal.
30 years ago, this would have been something that would have launched congressional hearings. We would have had convictions. We would have had indictments.
The regime laundered $400 million.
If a private company had done this, this is called money laundering. The CEO would be in jail right now.
Illinois Congressman Peter Ross goes on the record. Good evening, sir.
Greta, good to be with you. Thanks.
Is this transaction, this $400,000 cash transaction, which incidentally people knew about in January, but it's getting more publicity now, is this illegal, number one? And if it is, what are you going to do about it?
Look, I think it is illegal. It's $400 million, and the administration is trying to just whitewash this, saying, oh, everybody knew about it. No, nobody knew about it. And this is now clearly contemporaneous. That is cash for hostages. What it is an illustration of is just this desperate desire on the part of the Obama administration to come up with some foreign policy legacy around the Iran deal. And there's nothing, and I'll repeat this, there is nothing that the Iranians can do that the Obama administration would walk away from. And now they're defending this. They've been complicit in transferring cash for hostages. Period, paragraph, end of letter.
I think that's fair to say. I went back and did some research that it was in the public. There were reports about it last January, but I think the media fell down on this one, and it's great happiness to see Americans come home. They didn't pay that much attention. I think what's new now is the fact that it does look like a ransom. I mean, even the administration is saying that the Iranians want something of substance.